Well, welcome. This is Unit 4, Lesson 8, Word Problems. This is the last lesson of this unit in Algebra land, and this is putting all the information together. This is understanding the vocabulary and understanding algebra words. Make sure your notes are ready because you're going to need them for this lesson. Today, you're going to be able to write and solve an expression. Let's review some vocabulary. A variable is a letter. Here's an example. You knew the Wildcats scored 35 points in the first half of a game, but you didn't know how many points they scored in the second half. You could use a variable to represent the number of points scored in the second half, and you have this in your notes, 35 plus p. P is the unknown number. Instead of putting a question mark, we use a letter. It's the variable. An algebraic expression is variables and numbers with the operation sign. A plus, a minus, a division, a subtraction. If you look at the screen, 5 plus n, the n is the variable. You see the plus sign. In the second one, 7a, this means 7 times a. Remember, we don't use x's anymore when we're in algebra land. If you put the number next to a variable, that means 7 times a. This is 3 times b. If there is no sign, it means multiply, and you usually put the number first. Just to review, all of these words are math words, and we've talked about them before. Look at them. You don't have them in your notes, but look at them and think about if they mean to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. In equal groups means you're splitting things up and you're dividing. Shared, when you share stuff, you're putting them in equal groups, you're dividing. Increased by, you're making it bigger. Add. That's a plus sign. It's really, really ugly. Difference, half of. If you're taking half of something, you're cutting it in 2 parts. You're dividing. All together, add. Times, that's really, really hard. Oh, I don't know what that one is. Sum, less than, getting smaller. More than, getting bigger. Decreased by, it's getting smaller. Twice. Just for a review. This part is really, really important. When you multiply a number and a variable and you have this in your notes, you write the number first. N times 5 is written 5n. You could also say 5 times n, because when you multiply, it doesn't matter what comes first. Here's an example. They're equal. It doesn't matter what comes first. This is n times 5 or 5 times n. Either way you write it is fine. Okay, this part here is really, really important. This is the part that got us the other day in class. You have to subtract in a correct order, and your highlighter needs to be out and highlighting this part right now. This right here is 5 minus t. 5 less t. 5 decreased by t. This here is t decreased by 5, or t minus 5. 5 subtracted from t. This is t subtracted from 5. I'll say it again. This is 5 subtracted from t. This is t subtracted from 5. You have to be careful with these subtraction ones. It's tricky. Just take your time. You'll be fine. Okay, let's practice some. You have these in your notes. N students organized into 7 equal teams is 1. Number 2, sum of 4 and a number b. Number 3 is twice a number y. And number 4 is number x decreased by 5. Turn off the tape. Write these in the blanks next to your choices, and then turn the tape back on and see if you got them right. N students organized into 7 equal teams. N students. 7 equal teams implies to me that I'm making 7 equal parts, which would be dividing by 7. The sum means I'm adding of 4 and b. The sum of 4 and b. Twice a number y. If I'm saying twice, I'm multiplying it by 2. So 2y. Now, if you put the dot in there, if you put the y times 2, I want you to write it this way, because now we've been doing this long enough and we've said it long enough, and you need to recognize, I don't need the dot, I don't need a multiplication sign. A number and a variable next to each other means you multiply. And number 4, a number x decreased by 5. Did you get them all right? I'm sure you did. Okay, here's the last one in your notes. A box of cookies and 4 extra. This one takes apart the entire thing. Tell me what operation you use. Tell me what variable you use. What number do I know? And write the expression. Turn off the video, do the work, and then turn the video back on to see if you have the right answer. The operation I'm using is and. I'm adding. The variable I'm going to use is C. You can use any letter you want. C is for cookie. The known number is 4. So my expression is cookies plus 4. Did you get it right? If you did, put a big star with a smiley face and a yay on your paper. Good work. I'll see you tomorrow.